Welcome back guys to another Link Evolution deck profile. I believe Red Eyes was requested quite a long time ago, but truthfully the deck felt like it was in an awkward spot after the update, hence the delay on this video. After seeing some renewed content with the new Red Eyes Darkness Metal errata in the card game, I felt like trying out the deck in Link Evolution and had quite a bit of fun still. The weird thing about the deck right now on the game is that Darkness Metal is still banned, so Red Eyes loses one of their key cards. Not only do we lose him, we also don't have Dragon of Red Eyes, which I've seen a lot of requests for. I'm sure most of you like me would like a new update for the game, as Dual Overload has fallen behind quite a bit now, but until we get one we can expect Darkness Metal to stay banned in the game for a while sadly, and Dragon of Red Eyes to stay hidden as well for the most part. Negativity aside, the deck still operates as it did before for the most part. If you see my Red Eyes deck before the update, the small Phantom Knight engine makes a return as well as a lot of the other cards, so the main benefit now is the Master Rule Vision and some new generic extra deck cards. I personally think the Phantom Knight engine is the best to use with Slash Dragon, as not many warrior monsters can provide a better graveyard plus than Silent Boots. I decided to try something different this time around and I ran Archfiend Black Skull Dragon as opposed to Meteor Black Comet Dragon. I entirely think Comet is better, but I never got a chance to use the other big fusion target, so I wanted to give it a shot. If you run Comet instead of Archfiend Black Skull Dragon, I recommend Mana Dragon Zernatron or Neo Kaiser Glider to replace Summon Skull. There are a couple of errors in the deck list on screen. The first thing is the Guardragons in the extra deck. I did want to experiment with a Guardragon variant using World Legacy Guardragon, but I forgot to remove Pisty and Elpy after I stopped messing around with it. These were replaced by Union Carrier, which is amazing for getting the small dragons out of the deck, and a Link Spider. The Dragon of Dark Steel is supposed to be the Darkness Metal replacement, but is considerably weaker than the Red Eyes monster. I ran it just to stay on theme, but I never saw a chance to go into it honestly. Lastly, Rokket Synchron is my Spice tech, searchable by Baby Dragon to go into a level 8 Synchro when you normal summon him to revive a Red Eyes monster. While Borrelsword is an option, there were times where my Link presence in the grave wasn't good enough for it, so I settled for Draco Berserker. The deck list is really similar to my old build, but I did start to learn the value of Red Eyes Fang with Chain, which is an absolutely insane trap card that I slept on for whatever reason. You get to see how it works in the replay coming up. This is a quick replay where I'm going first with a pretty awkward but good hand. With Black Metal or Fang with Chain, I always want to go Slash Dragon since I have the Equip Negate available to us, as well as Breaksword being searchable by Silent Boots. This isn't the craziest board, but it is pretty decent, especially with Fang with Chain. There wasn't much we could do either way though, as Red Eyes Fusion prevents you from summoning other monsters for the turn if you activate it. While I do have the chance to negate Lady Debug, I was pretty sure this was a Solomon Great deck, which is why I decided not to. By a nice surprise though, this is one of the few times I run into Code Talkers, so I messed things up there a little bit. It's not the worst thing ever though, as we are still in a good spot to slow our opponent's Link summons down. Even though he does get Code Talker out along with Signet Codec, it seems he didn't have any other extenders in his hand, so he couldn't continue climbing into a full board. The key use with Fang with Chain is not its multiple attack effect, but instead it's the quick steal effect it has by detaching itself from your monster. Against a deck like Code Talkers, I can easily steal one of his Link materials or monsters and easily halt his plays, which I wasn't sure of right on the previous turn since it was my first time. The downside of Fang is that it gives your monster the attack points of the monster you are stealing, so lowering Slash's attack points didn't seem ideal since there was no other plays that he had anyway. With the second fusion spell in our hand somehow, I decided to go into Archfiend since we have no other plays, and since we have the Fang available for disruption still, we are still in a good spot. It would have been nice to have a lethal opportunity here, but unfortunately we just couldn't get the cards for it. Archfiend Black Skull is actually terrifying because unlike Meteor Black Comet, his burn effect activates every time he attacks at the end of the battle phase, making him a bigger offensive threat over time. Sadly, it isn't enough to drop our opponent's life points to 0 as you can see, but we're still in a good spot. Our opponent is going to try to start his plays up again on his next turn, but this time I decided to take the leap with Fang and steal his Code Talker to stop his Link summons, as most of the extenders in the deck require Cyberse on the field for the most part. This is a pretty basic replay, but it does show how you can easily disrupt a deck that relies on their monster materials such as Solomon Greats. With the added back row we had additional protection if things got a little scary, so this was a pretty safe and somewhat dangerous board nonetheless, despite how stale it feels. This deck can do a whole bunch of other things though that you'll see soon enough though. The rest of the video is much more intense, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content in the future.